Man has the audacity to try to blame somebody, talking
Oh,
about
really?
man, I'm not listening to that, old man. I am not listening to that. You got the
Man.
literal audacity to try and talk about the blame game. Blame
Oh
game.
yeah.
Look,
Oh yes.
I
Yeah.
understand it's football
Yes. I
Sunday.
heard podcast after podcast you blaming my generation for
Blaming your
stuff,
generation for
and
what?
I'm for everything.
No, that's
Everything that's
not.
went wrong.
That is
Everything that's went
that is
wrong.
that's not correct.
Your generation. No, I don't want nobody to miss this.
Okay,
Are we on?
we're always on.
Okay. The most entitled generation I know.
That is.
Y'all want a perfect world. Y'all want a perfect world handed over to you. No generation has gotten that.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hear us crying about it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear us say, oh, they left this, they left that, they left this. Your generation, that's all you hear. Oh, this is not right. Oh, you left us with this, you left this with that. Look, nobody promised you that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not realistic. Y'all young people got to understand. Y'all gonna have to work through some things.
Right.
This is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be roses and everything. Y'all just grow old and just fade away. No, it's not that. You're gonna have to go through some stuff. You're gonna have to fix some stuff.
Okay.
Just like we did. But you don't hear us complaining about it.
Okay.
We don't complain about it. We just keep grinding
Okay.
and take care of it.
Uh-huh. Okay. So are you done yelling at the clouds now, old man?
Yeah,
Are you
yes,
done yelling at the
yes.
clouds? So first thing, we're more of taking accountability as your generation tends to do the side eye, the whole, oh, well, I mean, that's not my problem. I mean, they got to deal with it. Put some dirt on it, as they do say, right? So we deal with it, but we try to bring it to your attention. It's like, hey, this may or may not be correct. And you talking about complaining? We don't complain. We just try to bring it to your attention. Now, if you want to talk about complainers, you could talk to that generation behind me. The generation doesn't have any common sense. We're the generation to get it done. Like I said before, we were the generation that will go through it and get it done.
Our generation, what's our generation then?
What's your generation?
My generation. You say you get it done, and so what's ours?
The one that just passed the buck.
Oh no!
The one that passed the buck.
No,
because we talked about this last week.
No, you. That's why I brought it up because
last week.
You think we passed the buck. No, we just don't complain about it. We deal with it.
What do you mean you don't complain about it? You complain about it every day. Every time something every time something new comes out that you got to learn how to do, or something that makes your life easier, you want to throw a fuss about it. What you mean you don't complain about it? You don't deal with it. You don't deal with it because you're not used to it. That's the problem. You know I'm right because you don't want to deal with you. Most of you are stuck in your ways, and you don't want to adapt to something that may make your life easier, and that is a fact. And that is a fact.
Well, I got certain things, certain ways, and it works.
Stuck in your ways.
Right. But
and then when something new comes along,
I see the falls in the things that
there's a fall in the things, and there's a fall in the things that you're doing that you're stuck in your way about.
No, it works. It works. I know it works.
Okay.
I know it works. Hey, what I'm saying is, we don't complain about stuff. Our expectations are not to say, oh, we're going to have a perfect world from the generation ahead of us. Expect a perfect world. What we dealt with, we deal with. Your generation and below wants everything perfect. They want everything glassy. Oh, it's roses. Oh, I can smell the roses. No, that's not realistic. You got to understand that you're going to have to deal with situations. You're going to have to deal with things that's going to come up as you grow. The young men and women now, it's a me world, and they don't understand what it takes to get things done. And stop complaining. If you spend more time doing, then you probably get things done.
So give me an example then if you're talking about my
So
generation.
you say like global warming and all this stuff and all
Okay.
the environmental stuff.
Uh-huh.
See, okay, with technology, they don't understand the mining. They don't think about the mining of these minerals and stuff to make your life easier.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. That's all your generation want. Easier life. Oh, this is, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. No, you won't have to do something. So that's one topic.
So you're saying global warming. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure we're clear. So you're saying
Well,
so basically you don't, if I'm understanding correctly, you
no,
talking about
I'm here.
if I'm understanding correctly, you don't care, but
I do care.
you're saying that we're complaining about it, but that's something that has to be done. But who's doing anything about it? I don't see anybody in your generation doing anything about it.
We are. That's why we put the solar.
What are you doing?
That's why we're doing that.
What are you doing?
We put solar, finding cleaner energy. But the thing is,
But who are you relying on to find the cleaner energy for you? What generation are you going to help you with that? I'm curious.
Well, we go to listen. We're smart enough. Hold on. We're smart enough to know that what we don't know, we get it from somebody who does.
Oh, but yet somehow
using your resources. That's just making good use of your resources.
But yet somehow we're the ones complaining about this, that, and the third.
Well, I mean, it's a legitimate gripe. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is global warming is not a United States problem. This is a world problem. And until the world gets on board, it's not going to change anything. And the thing about it is, while we closing down coal plants, other countries are building them.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that going to deter global warming? And the thing about it is, you and the generations beneath us got to figure out a way to make it a world problem, figure out how to get all that done. Because the thing is, what I'm saying is we have no control over that. That's an issue that is going to be relevant in your generation and the generations behind you. So instead of complaining, start finding solutions.
Right. And once again,
because I had nothing but complainers over there.
And once again, like I said last week, when we try to find those solutions, what do y'all do? Brush it under the rug. Oh, it's gonna hurt my bottom line. Let's not listen. You know it's true. You know it's true. We literally talked about this last week about how some of y'all in your generation, you don't want to hear anything because you think you even though you say we think we know it all, and you may be right in some cases, y'all are the biggest. Y'all are the biggest ones to be like, oh, I know better. I know better than you do. You're just a young buck. I know better than you.
Prove it to us. I mean, I'm not seeing the results. I'm not seeing
how are we gonna prove
the other generation.
How are we gonna prove it to you if we can't get our foot in the door? How are we gonna prove it to you if
you
we
can't get your foot in the door? What do you mean?
So if we try to prove it to you, you're telling me you're not gonna buy the patent and just shut it down because it hurts your bottom line.
Well, so corporations do that. They always done that.
But
it's up to your generation.
Who's the one running the corporations? People in your generation, right?
Probably so. Absolutely.
So then what do you mean? How are we going to prove it if you're sabotaging us from the get-go?
Okay. So what is your solution to that? To stop it? What's your alternative?
What's my alternative?
Mm-hmm.
My alternative for a lot of things is that you're going to catch it with your teeth. It was like, okay, you don't want to listen, find out for yourself. That's my philosophy for a lot of things. I try to go to you for advice. You don't want to, I try to tell you something. You don't want to listen. Hey, you're going to find out the hard way.
But how's anything going to be done? So the end result is going to be global warming. Is
I'm not
that
going
what
to
you're
sit
saying?
here and keep beating you over your stubborn head to try and get you to see reason for something that may be a solution. I'm not going to do that because at that time I'm just tiring myself out. I'm going to go do it my way and then be done with it.
But we don't live in a bubble. It's other people. It's not just about you. And that's what your generation has a problem with. It's a me generation. It's all about me.
So how is it all about us when I literally just said we try to present you with the solution and you don't want to hear us? So of course then we're going to take it into our hands.
So you stay.
Of course we're going to take it in our own hands and do it ourselves. Once again, we're the generation that'll get it done, which I went back to my original statement. I don't understand what you don't understand about that. It's like, if I'm not going to sit here, that's the definition of insanity, is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So why would I try to do that when I can circumvent and try a different route to get something done? And then it's looked upon as selfish.
I don't see your generation doing it.
It's selfish because he went a different route to do it. He's focusing on himself.
I don't see your generation doing it because I don't see the fortitude and things you do now, the little things, to have that mindset on the bigger things.
Jay, how many people in my generation do you see going to shoot up schools or being upset about something or beating somebody up or bullying them online? I just like to know. How many people in my generation? Answer the question. How many people in my generation do you see on the news talking about going to shoot up schools, going to do X, Y, and Z, something bad? I'm just curious. As I do recall, my generation is the generation that pretty much, even keel, nothing really goes on.
That we raised.
Yeah. Now you want to take credit for it after you sitting there and want to say, "Oh, your generation did that and the third."
Well. Listen, we at fault on some of the things because we gave y'all too much. We gave you too much. We babied you too much.
What do you mean?
And
you literally told us to put dirt on it and you'll be okay. How do you say we babied you too much?
Because I want to see a stronger fortitude. Because that's why the generation beneath you are in such disarray right now, is because you guys are not passing on the knowledge. You're staying to yourself. You're staying in your little cubby hole and secure. And as long as you're good, you don't worry about nobody else. You don't worry about nobody else. I'm good. Hey, get the whole world falling apart around me and behind me.
So let me ask you this.
Forget that.
Let me ask you this. If you're talking to somebody who is in their 70s or whatever, you have a solution. Mm-hmm. They don't want to listen to you. You come to our generation talking about, hey, here's a suggestion that you may want to listen to help you out in the long run. They don't want to listen. So what do you expect to be? What are you going to do at that point? When you have the generation above you that doesn't want to listen and the generation below you that doesn't want to listen, because you have the generation below you that is stuck on the ADHD and everything in 45 seconds or less. So you can't spend over 46 seconds. You lost them already. So you can't sit there and explain to them. And then you have the generation above you that's stuck in your ways and doesn't want to, maybe adjust a couple of things or do something slightly better that may help them in the long run. So what do? You're just stuck in a situation where it's like, okay, well, at this point, there's nowhere I can turn. So let me just do it my way and keep it moving.
So
we're basically
is there an action behind it, or is it just I'm not going to do anything?
There's usually an action behind it. We'll wait for y'all to move out of office, and then we'll come in and we'll get things situated. Play the long game.
The long game.
We play the long game.
While everything else is falling apart around
you. We play the long game. If you don't want to listen, they don't want to listen. I mean, what other choice do you have at that point? I'm asking you, what other choice will we have? I'm asking you.
Action.
Okay. So in that action,
because you see groups out here that take action.
If we do action,
you see what they get.
If we do action, then it's looked at as a me situation.
It is
exactly. Thank you. If we take action, it's looked as a me situation.
Well, it's always y'all guys are always a me generation. Y'all me generation.
That is not.
So your generation think about others.
We do. We genuinely do. We genuinely do. It's like I said, we're dealing with two different demographics here. We have the generation that you grew up outside of that technology. We may have some things that make your life easier.
Mhm.
Granted, you may not
We
want to
take
listen
it.
to.
We take it on.
No, you don't. You may not want to listen to us. Then we have the generation underneath us that is, if it's 45 seconds or less, they'll listen to you. Outside of that, they want nothing to do with it. So we're kind of stuck in between two different spectrums here. So what do you want us to do? If we do the route where we're just gonna put it on our shoulders and go do it ourselves, then we're looked at as the me generation. I mean, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, Jay. What do you want me to do here? I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what you want me to do.
No, you're not, because we are rational in my generation and above, that we can see the future.
You sure about that?
We see.
You sure about that?
We see.
You sure
Absolutely.
about that?
Absolutely. That's why we prepared you for the future.
Right.
Think about it. The stuff no generation has gotten as much as your generation in a short period of time. We didn't have the stuff that you had, that we gave to you. Education, access to education, maybe vehicles, technology. We gave you all that stuff. We gave you opportunities with all that stuff.
And as you recall,
we're the generation, we had to get it ourselves.
Okay, and as you do recall, yeah, you may have gave it to us, but you didn't know how to regulate it. You didn't know how to control it. And so you let it fester and grow into its own thing. And now you want to look back and be like, oh, well, you guys did this, that, and third. And it's like, okay.
Yes.
So
yes, we did drop the ball on certain things. We didn't give you we didn't give you the basics. We didn't give you the basics where those things didn't have anything to do with it. You need to know how to work, how to work with your hands, how to do the basics, the word no. The word no, that you can't get some. If our generation, we did things to a fault. We tried to give you everything we didn't have to a fault. And now we got to try to give you the knowledge where we missed, giving you the word no, and understand that no means love too. Your generation, and definitely behind you, no is like you don't love the person. Or if you don't agree with someone, it's like it's detrimental.
Once again, what I don't know where you're talking about the word no. I know what the word no means. That's been told to me plenty of times in my lifetime. So I don't know where you're getting this. You guys don't understand the word no. We get told no all the time, especially by people in your generation. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
We talk about we don't understand the word no. You told us from day one. It's can we have no? Can we no? If you ask me a question again, I'm gonna go outside and whoop you. What do you mean?
No. Your generation act like y'all never had that. Y'all act like y'all never had.
So you gonna pretend like you never. So you gonna pretend like you didn't threaten us in the store about whoopings and everything like that.
Absolutely.
And is that a form of no?
Oh, I'm not saying we never said no.
Capital punishment, right? Or was it corporal punishment? Corporal punishment. I think a lot of us got spankings in the 90s.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a form of
deterrent,
right?
So why you stop? So why you stop?
I wonder why, Jay. I wonder why. Maybe it's
why you stop.
Maybe it's because lawmakers, tied our hands behind lawmakers that are in office in a certain generation and higher made laws to where we can't do that anymore. At least in open, out in public.
That's right. So I get it. And it ties your hands. But see, your generation need to look at that because you see the end results of what's going on.
So once again, once y'all are out of office and y'all have moved on and we get in there, maybe some things will change. Right now, it ain't that ain't it, Chief.
I don't see y'all have the fortitude, the strength, because if somebody blocks you in any way, any barrier that comes up, I see you stop. I see your generation stop
Mhm.
because they got resistance. Any resistance you get, I don't
You
think you'll
sure?
have the
You
fortitude
sure?
to overcome it.
Like I know you may be talking out your backside on this part because I'm pretty sure you're talking about the generation behind us because we're a generation once again that'll get the job done. We slogged through it. We've gone through our lumps and bruises. Came out better for it because we've been told to you'll be all right. Put some dirt on it. You'll live to see another day. It's not the end of the world.
So tell
That's
us thank you.
huh?
So tell us thank you.
We tell you thank
So
you.
tell us thank you.
However,
Tell us thank you. Tell us thank you.
we tell you
So
thank
what are
you.
you doing behind you?
However, there's also some butting of the heads because y'all don't want to listen at times. You know that to be true. Y'all don't want to listen at times because
Because y'all really don't have much to say. Y'all don't understand. Like I said, the big picture. Y'all just see that little part of the picture. I'm looking at the big picture.
no, 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 no. Because we know for a fact that come to you for something, you'll be like, oh, game has changed, but players remain. I'm not. No, 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 no. It's a different world, Jay. Different world. Yes, you may have come
So
up.
you think it's
You,
totally different?
you may have come
No,
up. You may have come up in the time where the racism was a lot more extreme.
that's right.
However, what we're dealing with now is a totally different beast. There's certain things there's things we can't say, we can't do, or else you're bound to lose your job. I know that
Absolutely.
may be in certain situations that may be similar, in certain
Right.
situations that may be similar to how it was back in your day, but
Mhm.
this is a
You lose your
bigger.
life
This is a
because you
bigger.
lose your
Yeah,
life.
you
Man.
same here.
Okay. Yeah.
Same here, and people are losing their lives for being told no.
Yeah. 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 Take an L. But that's on your generation
How is that on us?
because it's behind you. We
So
did our job.
Jay,
We did our job. We did
here's
our
what I
job.
want you. Here's what I want you
We
to do.
gave you the tools,
Here's what I
and you're
want you to
not
do.
passing the tools on.
Here's what I want you to do. Since you talking about since you want to be this old grandiose philosopher, go ahead and talk to somebody in their 20s and try to explain something to them in 45 seconds or
So
less.
that's
No, 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 no,
that's
no,
why
no,
that's
no,
why we got
no,
you.
no. Because just like y'all
We're
do,
we're not supposed to. We're
just
not
like
supposed to do
y'all
that.
do,
You're
just
supposed to
like
do
y'all
that.
do to us, you put us in those situations because you want us to learn. Let's have you learn and go talk to somebody from in their 20s and explain something to them 45 seconds or less. Let's do that little experiment. See how that works out for you. And that's why you smiling because you know you
Oh no,
can't.
I think
Because
it'll work out just fine.
because you know you can't do it.
I think it'll work out just fine. I don't know if they can
45
handle
seconds or
all this
less.
knowledge, and I don't know if they can handle
45
all this
seconds or
knowledge.
less.
But that's your job to make sure that generation gets it from you because we passed it on to you. You expect us to go all the way back
No, 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 no.
and talk
I just
to
want
15
you.
year olds?
I want you to do exactly what you did to us in certain situations. You put
You
it.
can't do.
Oh yes, you can. Don't you sit there. Don't you sit there and fix your mouth and say you can't do that because you did it to us. And so what I want you to do, not saying now, but I'm saying just
Right.
in the grand in general, go to somebody that's 15, 20, whatever the case may be, and try to explain something to them in 45 seconds or less, because that's the only way you're going to get something across to them for a majority, not.
Now, how did that happen? Tell me. Because your generation is the one raising them. Your generation is the one raising them. Tell me how that happened. Hey, I admit our flaws. So tell me how
Like you said,
your generation allowed that to happen.
Allow that to happen. I can tell you
Tell
right
me.
now. Well, I mean, look, At the end of
Yeah,
the day.
tell me.
No.
Hey,
I was gonna say something, but then you were gonna go, oh my, and you start, because at the end of the day, it originates.
COVID again? You blame COVID?
I'm not blaming.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say it starts at ground zero, which was.
Oh no! See, that's the blame. That's the blame game again.
No, because look, listen. All I was gonna say is it starts at ground zero because you said you didn't have the regulations for it. So if you don't have regulations for it, it spirals out of control. We got the tools. We did whatever we wanted to do with them. It created another beast. Like I said last week, we created the Instagram and Vine and all that stuff that started the short form content. I understand that. And it grew from there because, you know, the next wave came in and branched on that and made it TikTok and shorts and everything of that nature. So that's part of the reason why. But also, you have a lot of things that are being presented in that format as well nowadays that are in short form, like the news. Like, look at your local news channel. Most of them don't talk on hours on end about a certain situation. Maybe like a minute long.
That's about it. Short and sweet.
Yeah. So it's kind of been a transformative thing by multiple generations, and not just specifically ours, but I will take majority of the blame as far as the social media portion of it.
So what are y'all gonna do? See, you worry about trying to get past us and talk about stuff we've done wrong.
It's not getting past. It's not getting past you.
No. How you gonna fix that? How you gonna fix what's behind you? See, we're working on fixing you guys, the young men and women that we raised.
Well,
how are you gonna fix that? That's what you need to be concerned about, is fixing that, not trying to fix us, because we're good.
I will say it's not, because most of us. So if you're 15 now, I'm just trying to think of logistics. It's a blend between our generations. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you as far as the generation that's behind us. Some of y'all having kids later on in your years.
Oh,
man!
No,
listen. No, I'm saying you know that's the case. It's some of your generation having kids later on in their years, when most of the time the cutoff is at a certain age. Is that am I wrong about that?
Right. Okay. So,
and then
it's not a majority. It's not a large
majority. I'm not saying a majority, but it's also it's probably like a 50-50 if I had to be honest with you.
No, it's not 50-50. No.
So if I went and asked some people on the street that had kids that are like 15 or something like that, you really think they're going to be in their 30s?
Yeah. Pretty much.
You really think they're going to be in their 30s? I'm seeing a lot more families that are older, like 40 plus, that are having kids that are, you know, in their 20s, something like that. So with this blend, what? So what are you trying to say? You the 50%, you saying 50. I'm gonna use your percentage. Mm-hmm. So we got a 50% chance that they might turn out all right, because they're born for people in my generation. Never said
because
that.
If they're born in any other generation,
here's the thing.
No hope.
Here's the thing. Because you guys have that same ego as far as the me. You know you do. You have that same ego.
No. I'm just saying we holding you up. Our generations are holding you up. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Mm-hmm. And we deserve the respect. So, and not to be blamed.
So you just said you're holding us up.
Appreciate it.
So if you
we hold it. Everything. No, not holding you up in that sense. I'm talking about holding it together. My generation is holding this together. What you got right now and how you live and the peace of mind that you have is based on us.
What peace of mind?
Yeah.
What peace of mind? Because I'm pretty sure we've gone through.
Stressed? You stressed?
Yes.
Are you stressed?
Yes. Every day.
Self-created.
No, it's not.
Self-created.
Don't you dare say it's self-created. Don't you dare say it's self-created. No, it's not self-created.
Oh, it's created by us.
I've never said that. I'm just saying there's a lot of
Okay,
things. I'm
it's
just
behind
saying,
you. It's behind you. The generation that you've forgotten
man, I'm
about.
not even talking about
Your
that.
generation totally forgot
I'm
about
not
the
even
generation
I'm
behind you.
not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about the generation behind me. And it's not self created stress. Because if I'm sitting there having to figure out what I'm gonna do as far as work, or maybe where I'm gonna live, or
Y'all got social media. Y'all got all these avenues that you say you praise about.
not
Y'all got
every
more chances now than ever.
just like the NFL, not everybody's designed to make it. Not everybody's gonna make it. You know that. Not every, just because it's there doesn't mean you guaranteed to make it. You still got to figure out what you're gonna do. Like you can't put all we already know you can't put all your eggs in one basket. But with everything the way it is, it's
We
more.
taught you that. We taught you that. We taught you that. I'm glad you
But
know that. I'm glad you know.
according to you, we're generations about me, this, that, and the third. It's like, no,
No,
we learn, we know what we need to do. However, the situation
thank us.
the situation has changed dramatically because of things that have gone on in the world. So we have to pretty much deal with it because we're going through. We deal with it. We're currently dealing with it because we have to go through to get established where you guys are already established. So what we're going through as far as the housing and the workforce and everything like that, you can't sit there and say, "Oh, it's me." No, we're going through it every day because we have to figure out what to do when rules or things are changed in the workplace by leaders in certain positions. So
we're here for you. That's why we try to help.
Don't give me that.
What you doing?
Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Don't you open.
We don't guide you. You can't come to somebody in our generation and offer advice, and they're willing to give it to you. Is that what you're saying? They're not willing to give it to you.
It depends. I'm not saying everybody.
But your generation don't want to even talk to the kids behind you. You don't even want to talk to young men and women behind you. You don't even want to talk because you said 45 seconds. That's it.
So Jay,
that's all the attention you're gonna get.
I will circle back to what I said earlier. Go ahead and put yourself in my situation where you have to go explain something to somebody in 45 seconds or less.
How did your generation allow that to happen?
It doesn't matter how we allowed it to happen. What I'm saying is I want you to experience, because a lot of y'all don't seem to understand until you're in our situation. I want you to experience what we go through, because then you'll be like, oh, maybe there's something, maybe there's a little bit of difference. So you can't just sit there and be like, oh, you got to teach them this, that, and it's easy to talk when you're up there on the perch and you're established. I need you to get down here in the trenches for a day to see what we go through. And then maybe you'll be like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do all this stuff to bring it down on them, or whatever the case may be. It's like, oh, if I was in the trenches for a day and see what they experience or see what they see, maybe then it would change my perspective just a smidge, because it's easy to sit on the sideline and sit there and talk about something you may not even know what you're talking about.
So once again, now I'm just saying, what it sounds like, I hear you. Once again, you want us to fix the problem.
No, I'm not saying fix the problem.
So we can go down there. And talk to these kids.
I want you to experience, just like y'all tell us, oh, go do this for the experience. So I want you to do this with us for the experience. Get a taste of your own medicine that you tried to pass on us when we were growing. Oh, go do these things for the experience. See, you'll get better with the experience.
That's right.
Then bring your butt back to bring your butt down here into the trenches and get a little dose of this experience so you can understand, and we can maybe figure something. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that. You can understand.
We can figure it out.
So you can understand where we're coming from.
But you created this. Your generation created this, and you worried about a generation who carried you and still carrying you.
How did we create this when?
Because you're the parents of the ones behind.
I literally just said, I need to look this up because I guarantee you, the kids that we have are like 10 and younger, more than likely at this point. There's maybe a few outliers that have kids that may be 20 that are my age because they're promiscuous when they were younger, whatever the case may be.
Oh,
But
that's a lot of that.
no, because I know somebody right now who is 38 who has no kids over 10 years old. So I'm not listening to you about we created this problem because I know it's people that are in their 40s and higher that are.
That's not my generation.
So what generation is it? So what generation is it then?
Hold on.
So what
Hold on.
generation is it then?
Listen, that's your generation.
You know,
Not-
what generation is a
not
10-year
40.
gap, right?
That's right. It's 10-year gap.
So what is that? So what is,
That's your
so
30
how's
to
that?
40, right? 30 to 40, right?
So 41 and up.
Oh man. So you saying all what
It's actually
the generation
30,
behind you?
it's actually 30 to 39 if you want to be correct about it. Just like it's 40 to 49. But
Okay. Well, hey, tic tac,
So-
whatever.
you can't sit there and say, "Oh, your generation." What do you mean? All the kids that we would be having, yeah, they're
Mhm.
going to be exposed to the social media, TikTok, and all that stuff, but they're not the teenagers and young adults that are out there right now. That the people.
It's not my generation.
And who is it? Oh, maybe it's that in between.
In between.
So it's
That's
in
right.
between
That's right.
again. So you can't sit there and say it's my generation that's been at fault here because most of us aren't having kids.
So who's having the kids? Oh, it's a lot of people behind you. Who's having them? You
Well,
say
that's-
my generation's having them?
I'm saying somebody's having them. I'm
No,
not saying you.
no,
I'm not saying
no,
you.
no,
I'm not saying you.
no.
I'm saying we just came to a conclusion that there's a generational gap between your generation and my generation. So somebody
That's right.
in there is coddling those kids that they're raising now, the kids that they had when they were 20 to 25 or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
They babying them and everything like that. So you can't really sit there and say that it's on us because that math ain't mathing, Jay.
But the thing is, you're looking at the problem when it's us. You're looking here, and you got a lot of issues you got to deal with. We're straight. We got you straight.
Mm-hmm.
So why you saying, gatekeepers and all this stuff? We're holding the fort. We're keeping it so that you
Here's
might
the thing.
have a chance to
Here's
fix
the thing. Here's
the
thing.
issues going on that you're going to be dealing
Here's
with.
the thing. When I'm talking about gatekeeping, I'm talking about the fact that you think you know a lot because you go by that statement. Though the players change, but the game remains the same.
That's right.
I'm not listening to that. I'm sorry. I'm not listening to that.
That's right. Another thing, you don't listen.
No,
But go ahead.
we listen. I heard everything that you were saying. So what I'm getting across here is when I'm talking about gatekeeping, I'm saying the fact that when we go to talk to somebody in your age group, yes, some of you may be parents to us and things like that, but it becomes difficult to talk about certain things to you guys because it's the same rhetoric that we hear every time. And it's like we feel like you don't see what we're seeing. Granted, you may think you see it, but once again, things have changed. You can preach that same thing all you want to. I'm not listening to that because it is a totally different world than what it was you were growing up. Yeah, some things may be parallels and some things may be the same, but a lot of it has changed. A lot of it has changed, and you can't, with the introduction of technology and other things like that, the game's it's a totally different board. The board has flipped. We're playing 3D chess now. We're not playing checkers.
So hold on. We know how to play checkers too. We had to play too.
I said
Yeah,
3D.
checkers and chess and chess.
I said
And we
that's
play them
exactly
both.
what
We
I'm
play them
talking. You
both.
see,
We
that's
play them
exactly a
both.
prime example of what I'm talking about. I said
We play
3D
them both.
chess, and you went to
Yeah.
straight. Oh yeah, we know how to play checkers.
Checkers and chess. And chess. We had to learn to play them all.
That's exactly what I'm
But
talking about, though.
the thing is, you got to understand, you're trying to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed. And when you got all these other issues around you, your generation need to be focusing on that. We got this. We got this. We're giving you time to fix what
What it,
you've created, your generation's created, and the generation right before you. I guess they're in between, right before you, and what's behind you. We're trying to give you time to do that.
and how
You
are
got to
you?
take this time and use it wisely. We're still in the workforce. We're still holding it down. We're still maintaining. What are your generation going to do? What's your generation
I
going
would
to
like to know that as well because there's a lot of things going on that that are out of our control, and you know that to be a fact.
Right.
So you want
What are you going to do?
You want us to fix something that is not in our control.
Well, you got to get control because there's things out of our
So-
control.
so
But
let
you
me-
know what we
let
did?
me- let me
We
ask you
adapt
this.
and
So
overcome.
let me ask you this: you can adapt and overcome all you want to, but at the same, you can't sit there and say, "Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it," and we have no control.
Well, that's
over
what
it.
y'all asking us.
We didn't ask you to fix it. I literally told you. I literally said we go to talk to you, and if you don't want to listen, then we go about doing it our own way. And then you look at it as, oh, they're a me generation, whatever the case may be. It's like, no, we are the generation that will figure it out and get the job done. You know this to be true. 99.9% of the time, we are the generation
But
that will go out and get it
I
done.
don't see the word get done. I'm not seeing the word
Once again,
getting
you're
done.
looking at the wrong generation because I know if you talk to anybody that's in my age bracket, we go out and we tough it out and get the job done. Very rarely will you hear us complain.
You got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. And I hope y'all get it
We
done.
may curse you out behind closed doors or whatever the case may be, but usually you're not going to really see us sweat when we're out there. You know that to be true. Like we are the generation.
I hope so.
We are the generation that'll get it done. And I understand, a lot of this stuff doesn't apply to you, but we've grown up with all the stuff that's been going on, the wars and everything like that. That has an impact on us down the road. So
I don't see it in a positive light. I'm seeing negativity.
But what I'm saying is those things have an impact on us down the road as we get older. Those things that happen in the past,
right,
like the debts and things like that get collected. I understand you had to deal with it. I understand. Listen to me. I understand you had to deal with it. However, it still falls. It still trickles down. It still trickles down, right? And it grows and grows and grows. So it may not, whatever it was where you were at, it's gone up since then. So that's something that we have to. So the housing crisis, the pandemic. Yeah, I understand everybody dealt with the pandemic, but once again, that stuff still trickles down to us. Just like we have the whole thing with the school stuff.
My generation's not dead. We're still here. We got to deal with it too.
I understand that, but you already here's what you're not.
I know you said we already established. I know
that. You're already established. You're established. You have your retirement nest egg and everything like that. We're still trying to figure it out and go through it to get to where you guys were. But we have all these other things that are piled onto that, on top of the current issues that we're dealing with. So I don't understand. Not necessarily you, but people in your generation can't wrap your heads around that we're dealing with compound interest at this point of everything that has happened since we've been on this earth. Somebody has to pay the bill, and it's apparently going to be us.
Right. And you were built to handle it.
So then how are you going to sit there and say that it's a me generation if we're how are you going to sit there and try to blame us and say we're the me generation if we're the ones handling it? If we're the ones built
you're not handling it. You were built to handle it, but you're not handling it.
How are we
That's
not handling
the problem.
it? How are we not handling it?
Your decision making, how emotional y'all guys are, especially the men. It's just
Once
those
again,
are not the tools.
once again,
Those are not the tools
once again,
to
Jay,
overcome
you're
situations.
focusing on the wrong generation. We're talking about my generation here. You talking about the emotional, this, that, and the third. You're barking up the wrong tree. You're focusing on you keep saying my generation, but you mean another generation because you're not talking about us. You're not talking about us. I don't know why you keep saying you keep throwing us in that bracket. It's like, no, we are literally, and I will stand on this to the day I'm 6 feet under. We are literally the last generation that grits our teeth and gets it done. We are it. So once we get to where we need to be, things may look up. I can't sit there and say for certain that it's going to be 100% guaranteed, but we have, like I said, compound interest that we had to deal with since we've been on this planet, and we're trying to figure it out. So things weren't as much. Yes, you had some things back when you were going through it, but there's a lot more on the plate now that we have to figure out and deal with. You can sit there and say, "Oh, well, we're here for you, this, that, and the third."
Yeah, we're here. Use your resources. You can
say that all you want to, but at the end of the day, we still have to do it and get to where you guys are. We're trying to get to where you guys are, which is established. How are we going to get established if we got to sit here and foot the bill for all these other things that happened and then try to figure out these crises that are going on and everything else that is going on in the world?
But like I said, I get what you're saying. But we're here. We're going through it too. I'm just letting you know. But we're established. I know we're established. But the thing is, we're holding you up. We're not holding you up like stopping you. We're keeping you afloat to give you time to figure it out. So respect us and give us the respect that's due. And stop talking about, we're holding you back and all this stuff. You should be thanking us because we're giving you time to figure it out. Say thank you. Thank you, young man. Say thank you, young man. No, say thank you, young man. Say thank you.
Here's the thing. It is
say thank you.
No, I've said thank you plenty of times, but it's a two-way street. You can't sit there and be like, "Oh, we did this, that, and the third. We did this, that, and the third." But then when the time comes due, we don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's how y'all talking. That's what y'all talking about. We address it. We address the situation. My generation addresses the situation. That's why we're giving you time. We're giving your generation time to figure it out.
How are you giving us time to figure it out?
Because you're not going to be homeless. You're not going to be without food. You're not going to be without shelter. You're going to have us there with you. We're giving you time to get established. So no. You should thank us. That's what you should be doing instead of crying complaining.
Who's complaining? Who's crying and complaining? Once again,
your generation.
You see, and here you go with your generation. This is what y'all need to get out your heads and stop blaming us for everything that's going wrong when it has nothing to do with us. You are blaming us for literally your generation is notorious for blaming us for everything that goes wrong. No, now you want to say you are notorious. Your generation is notorious for blaming us for everything that goes wrong, and you know that's a fact.
Look at it. It wasn't us.
Are you telling me that compound interest just didn't happen? Just happened overnight?
Oh, that was the start. No, that didn't happen overnight.
That was the years of everything all the decisions that we made and everything like that.
But hold on. So I'm gonna use the same thing everybody always used, COVID. Man, people were sitting home fat and happy.
Mm-hmm.
Fat and happy, making money.
Everybody was sitting home fat and happy.
Everybody. I was working. I was working. I wasn't getting that kind of money. I wasn't getting any kind of money that.
You were outside, right?
I was working.
Right. So for majority of people that are in your generation were in the office, including us that are coming up in the workforce as well. So you can't just sit there and try to pin that on us talking about, oh, you guys were no, everybody was home. Everybody except
Not this
for
guy.
everybody
Not
except
this
for
guy.
what was it? I think the
Essential.
service essential and service industry or something like that.
That's
They're the
right.
only
That's
ones
right.
that were required.
I was
to
working.
go.
With not getting
And
any
you
of that
were-
free
you
money
were the
sitting at
what?
home. I wasn't sitting at home getting
And
free
you
money.
and you were what, the 0.05%?
I don't know what the numbers are, but I know I wasn't one of them.
Okay.
And you know what they did? See, this is the response. The response of your generation and beneath you is when the stores open up, they went buying sneakers and shoes. Jordans came out and all this stuff. That's a mindset that says,
No, let's keep it.
I need to get that house. I need to worry about getting the house. I need to worry about getting established. No, worry about being established.
Let's keep it a buck. We already know what ethnicity was doing that, so let's not try to put everybody in that general category. It's unfortunate that happened, but we already know what ethnicity that was doing all that. Yes, some of us took the alternate route and tried to invest our money and things like that.
Okay, that's what you should have done with it.
However, it may not have worked out because, of course, with that happening, it affects other things as well, as far as like buying houses or whatever the case may be. So those things might not have worked out. So you may end up losing your money that you tried to invest. I don't know. Everybody's different, but
everybody's different.
But we both know, me and you both know, you can't sit there and say we already know what ethnicity. And unfortunately, I hate the fact that was the case, but
right. But you can't deny it.
I'm not denying. I'm saying.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not.
Everybody, regardless of age bracket, went out and did that. If you're of that ethnicity, pretty much for the most part.
And the thing about it is that's what you said. If you in the mindset that you said that your generation has, that should, like you said, investments, put this money aside for getting established. That wasn't the mindset that I saw and witnessed. I just saw, money. I got money. I'll spend it.
But once
establishment, that was a farthest thing from anybody's mind.
Right. Yeah. I will agree with you on that. That's farthest thing from anybody's mind. So don't try to pin this just on one group. So we're gonna get that out the way because I know good and well people in your group were out there doing the same thing, going to buy the shoe. Not me either. But we're the outliers here. So you can't sit there and say, "Oh, you're not going to do the finger pointing because that was across the board."
Mainly in your generation.
No, sir. If the people that are buying Jordans now are the people that are like mostly the 20s now, the people that have Jordans, they're just reselling them in my age bracket, mostly reselling.
So making money off of it. Okay,
they're using their investment. They're using their investment prowess to make money.
Okay,
so.
All right.
But once again, like we can sit there and say you can invest your money, all this, that, and the third, but it doesn't work like just because you invested doesn't mean you're gonna turn a profit or it's gonna work out for you. So you could have invested and still lost it all because the market.
At least you tried. At least you tried.
And we tried. So what's the problem?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm gonna take your word for it. But I just didn't get that feeling that.
Of course not, because
there was a lot of effort in that try.
Y'all right here.
No, I look at the big picture.
Y'all right
I'm always looking at the big picture.
Y'all right here. Oh, the 30-somethings. The 30-somethings. Oh, the 30-somethings. Oh, the 30
and below.
Those
30s and below.
30-something. Those 30-somethings. Oh man, what are they doing? Those 30-somethings.
39 on down. 39 on down.
Those 30-somethings. Like
only thing. And I'm glad we talked about it because I got tired of you blaming the generation that's maintaining and allowing you time to figure it out.
No, nobody's. I'm
Yeah,
not blaming you. I just wanted you to accept. I wanted you to actually acknowledge. That's all I wanted was acknowledgement. I think that's what most of us want was some form of acknowledgement instead of you acting. Oh, we can't do no wrong. We're that generation. We're the generation that can't do. I just wanted some acknowledgement.
we're the closest one to it.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
That's exactly what I'm talking
I'm
about.
saying
right
we're close
now.
to it. We're close to it.
Some acknowledgement. It's like, hey, yeah, we may have messed up. And it's like, yeah, I
Yeah, we have. We weren't perfect. No one's perfect.
The way you present it, make it sound like, I don't know.
No one's perfect.
I don't
No
know.
one's perfect.
But that's all I'm saying.
No.
It's just like, hey, you try to blame us for the technology error and everything like that, but it was like you guys were the ones that came up with it. What you mean?
Yeah, it started. When I was
like,
growing
so
up, that's
how you gonna sit there and blame us for something that you did? That's like you putting the stick in the tire and you flipping over the front of the bike and then looking around to blame somebody.
No. What I was trying to relay to you is technology started. That's when it started picking up. Right. When I was, and
you finally admitted
our parents couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was never an issue with us and how we were brought up.
Mm-hmm.
But we gave you the tools to learn it. We gave you the computers. We gave you the TV, cable, the cell phones, and all that. We purchased that for you. We just didn't manage it well. But we allowed you to pick up technology. We allowed you to be in the fight for jobs and have a chance with the new age. Once again, you should say thank you. Once again,
I'll say thank you.
We're holding you down.
I'll say thank you when you guys actually decide to listen to us when we try to make a way of life easier. That's when I'll say thank you.
No, you'll be crying for us when AI takes over and y'all just allow AI to be the head of everything. Mm-hmm. You'll be crying for us. You'll be like, oh man.
How are we gonna?
It's gone too far. It's gone too far. We can't even sneeze. We can't even sneeze without something happening, or somebody knows about it.
I mean, by the time that happens, you guys will still be in positions of power anyway. So it's just...
no. As long as we're in position of power, it won't get that far.
It already has.
Because we know how to maintain.
It already has. What do you mean? It already has. You focus on the wrong things. You focus on the wrong things. Like I understand the security concerns for TikTok, but you're focusing on the wrong things. AI was butting right underneath your nose, and how does TikTok work? Do you like to do TikTok, young man? What does TikTok mean to you? Oh, we have all these other, we have Instagram and all these other things that invade your privacy, but we're going to focus on TikTok because it's with the Chinese. But we have AI right here underneath our nose that developed at the same time and is learning at an accelerated rate, but we're not going to worry about that.
No, we got to worry about all of it. But that's your problem.
Oh, it's my problem.
What I'm saying is see, your generation, how I was taking it is your generation was looking at us as if we're the problem. And your generation got a lot more things to worry about.
Yeah, that compound interest. Yeah, I know. We have a lot of things to worry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you for finally admitting that. Thank you.
But I took it as you accusing us. Like we holding you back. We holding you up.
Thank you.
No. Thank you. No.
Thank you.
This is the stuff you embrace. Not compound interest. I
got to deal with it, right?
Compound interest works both ways. It can work for you too. See,
how is it working for us if we're having to deal with the ramifications of it?
Well, if you save, put your money up.
I'm not listening. I'm not
compound.
listening. I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to that elementary high school nonsense that's been preached the past that whole time frame. Oh well, if you guys save your money and write checks and learn how to do it, we don't even write checks anymore. Like checks have become outdated for a lot of people. I know not necessarily your generation because you like to stick by the books and everything like that, but
That's right.
it was a useless skill if you ask me.
You know why? You know why you say for us, do we use that?
Because you're stuck in
Yeah.
your ways.
We established.
That may be the case.
We established.
That may be the
Just
case.
like you said.
That
Just
may
like
be the
you
case.
said.
But once
We
again,
established.
it was a
We
useless skill.
established.
It was a
We
useless
established.
skill. You can say that all you want.
It doesn't matter. The end result says it all. The end result says it all. We're established.
So what argument does that have to do with?
Where are you trying to get?
Hmm?
Where are you trying to get to?
I told you we were trying to get established.
Okay.
What is that?
Start writing checks. Start writing checks there.
We're not writing checks, sir.
Okay. But you see my point? We're established and you're trying to get there. So listen to the people.
How is that your point?
Listen to people who are already there and stop listening to TikTok and all this other stuff.
No one's
listening to the people.
TikTok.
Listen to the people who are established. We're trying to teach you. So listen.
So if you actually listened like you should be doing, you would understand that a lot of your aiming points are slightly misguided. Maybe just a little bit to the left, a little bit more, a little bit to the right, and you'd be on point. Instead of focusing on the main thing, instead of focusing on this one thing, you're supposed to see the bigger picture, right? You're supposed to
we always see the big picture.
As I see it, you guys narrow on one thing and one thing. We're going to focus on this one thing and ignore everything else that's going on around us because this is the one thing that's paramount to us. That's all that matters. Right here. This thing.
It's your guys.
This thing.
Your guys trying to guide you.
No.
And that's
no, not at all.
That's it. That's the only thing we focus on is guiding your
laser
young
focus
men
on the one wrong thing instead of everything else that's going on. No, I'm not listening to that. That's not happening.
Out of this conversation, I'm just going to ask for one thing.
I'm going to ask you for one thing.
Say thank you. Say thank you to my generation.
Once again, I will say thank you when you go to the generation behind us and try to explain something to them in 45 seconds or less.
We'll have to do that. We have to do that. You're going to say thank you.
I will say thank you. You heard it. I will say thank you when you go to the generation that's behind me and try to explain something to them in 45 seconds or less. I just want you to experience.
And I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick the topic. What you want me to explain to them about?
It don't even matter.
And we'll try to get them on here, and I'll do it right there.
It don't even matter. You could whatever you want to explain to them, because I guarantee you'll probably lose them in less than 30 seconds. Oh, explain to them how to change a tire. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Explain to them how to change a tire.
Okay, I can do that.
We'll see how that holds.
First of all, I'm gonna ask them: do they even know how?
No, don't ask them. Just be like, I'm gonna teach you how to change a tire. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna try to make that happen. I don't know when, but we're gonna try to make that happen.
And then you can be like, these kids, they driving me crazy. And then you'll be like, yeah. And now you understand. No, don't you dare say it's our fault, because it's that bracket that's right underneath you before us. Don't you dare try to say it's our fault, because we know that's not the case.
But no, I enjoyed the conversation, but you need to thank my generation and the young men and women in your generation. Need to just grab their mom and dad and just give them a big hug and say thank you, because you've given us time to figure this out. Make sure you do that, young man.
And I'm gonna need everybody in his generation to actually take the time and listen instead of just going directly to their default programming.
Okay, that's where we go. That's where we go. Okay,
Take the time
but
to,
I enjoy the conversation.
because we're playing 3D chess, not checkers.
Checkers and chess, we play them both. We just don't have 3D. We just use.
We're playing 3D chess, not checkers.
Young man, these young men and women.
The men and
Yeah,
women
yeah,
that are going to get the
I'm
job
telling
done.
you give your mother and father a hug and say thank you. You might not do it, but I want my audience just go and say thank you because you've given us time to figure this out.
We're done here.
Happy football Sunday. Happy football Sunday, everyone.